Today we're going to be making an awesome hot tub minion cake. This is amazing and it's easier than you might think. So let's get started. What you're going to need, 2 lots. For the syrup, you're going to need 200 ml of water, 150 grams of sugar, and a flavoring of your taste. I'm using lemon since I'm going to be making a fruit cake. For the filling, I have mixed berries, and I'm going to be using this raspberry ripple buttercream. It's a flavored icing sugar, and I'm going to dilute it with some regular icing sugar as the flavor is very strong. And you're going to need 125 grams of butter also. And then to decorate the cake, I'm going to be using quite a lot of Kit Kat. You're probably going to need about 10 packs of Kit Kat, blue food coloring, and some fondant colors. So I was actually sent this flavored icing sugar from Sugar and Crumbs, and they found me on Twitter and they were kind enough to send me some samples, and I have lots of really cool flavors. I have like pina colada, salted caramel, so I'm going to be using those in my next videos. And what it is basically, it's a natural flavored icing sugar, and you can use it for buttercreams, meringue, macaroons, and you have to add butter, and if you want some regular icing sugar, to dilute it because the flavor is quite strong. So yeah, we'll be using this today. First, we're gonna make the buttercream. So in a kitchen robot or in a large mixing bowl, place your butter that should already be at room temperature and mix on medium speed until it becomes light and fluffy. Once your butter is nice and fluffy, you're gonna add your icing sugar. I have added my raspberry icing sugar and the plain icing sugar. And the raspberry icing sugar is actually gluten-free as well, so it's good for vegetarians and vegans out there. And start by mixing. Oh, it smells so good. It smells like raspberry. Start by mixing on low speed to avoid the icing cloud. Once your buttercream is nice and fluffy, you're gonna place this in the fridge for about 30 minutes just to let it cool, because it is such a hot day here today. If I leave this outside, it's just gonna melt. To make the syrup in a small pan, heat your water, the sugar, and the aroma or the flavoring that you have chosen. I've chosen lemon. And you need to bring this to a boil and make sure all the sugar dissolves. Once it has boiled and all the sugar has dissolved, you're gonna let it cool down at room temperature. So now that our syrup is at room temperature, we're gonna take a little brush, and yes, this is a lot of syrup, but I bake a lot, so you can just keep this in the fridge for about a few days. Yeah, for 2 days. So I'll use it. And you can just brush it onto the cake. So now you're ready to fill your cake. And here we have our raspberry buttercream that we made earlier and has been in the fridge for about half an hour. And we're just gonna take some and put it on our cake. And it smells amazing. You can really smell the raspberry in this buttercream. And I did have a cheeky little taste earlier, and it is yummy. You need to keep in mind, keep some buttercream because we're gonna need to put it to the sides for the Kit Kats to stick. So bear that in mind and just leave some aside. Once you have a nice even coat of buttercream, make sure you have washed your fresh fruits and just sprinkle them on. And I'm gonna put a link in my description to my Victoria sponge cake recipe, and also to a link to the shop where you can purchase the different flavors of buttercream yourself if you want to try them out. So now we can place our top layer over the cake, try and center that, and squish it down nice and tight. And there we go. We're gonna set this in the fridge now for at least half an hour. So now we're ready to decorate our cake with the Kit Kats. So using a spatula, just take your buttercream and place it all around the sides. It doesn't have to be perfect or pretty because it will be covered by the Kit Kats anyway. Now that our sides are covered, I have here 8 packs of Kit Kat and I cut them into 2 strips, and we're just gonna place them and push them up against the cake and they will stick to the buttercream. And you just want to go all around, making sure they connect. Okay, so here it is. I've actually ended up using 9 packs of Kit Kat. They're just the regular 4-piece pack. And I have to put it in the fridge straight away because it is already starting to melt. Like the last pieces, I was pressing them up and my fingerprints were on them. And you can see over here, like they're just starting to melt. So off it goes in the fridge. So I've just made a batch of buttercream and I've just used 100 grams of butter for 200 grams of icing sugar, and I'm gonna color it blue, and that's gonna be the little swimming pool where the minions are gonna be in the little hot tub. So I'm just gonna put really little because I don't want it to be too dark, and you can always add more. So I'll start with 2 drops and I'm gonna mix it, and I'll add more if I think it needs to be more blue. Okay, so 2 drops of food coloring were enough for me. And I'm now gonna set it in the fridge and let it cool. To make your minions, take a piece of yellow fondant and make it into a nice and smooth bowl. Okay, and then just shape it into a little kind of square. Yeah, that will do. And don't forget, he's gonna be like plopped into the hot tub, so he's gonna look even shorter than he is. Okay, so we're gonna leave that there. Next, you're gonna take a piece of black fondant and just make a little sausage, and you're gonna roll it out using your little rolling pin. And using your pizza cutter, you're gonna cut out a strip. All right, and we're gonna wrap this around our little minion. All right, next we're gonna make the eye. We're gonna make this one the one-eyed one. I think his name is Bob. No, Bob's the baby that becomes a king in the last movie. All right, so we're gonna take a piece of gray fondant. This is probably too much. And roll it into a smooth ball. And then using a ball tool, you can simply put a hole in the middle, let's say, and then just enlarge it. So then we're going to take a piece of white fondant, make a little ball again. I'm going to plop that in. Okay, and we're going to give him a little brown eye, so take a piece of brown. You don't need a lot. You only need to make a little circle. Make a ball and then just squish it in your hands, and then we'll just squish it down. There we go. Then we need the little pupil, so take a little piece of black, only a little piece, make another little ball, put it in the middle and squish. And then to make it look a bit more alive, we're gonna take a really small piece of white fondant, just like that, and roll it in your fingers, plop it on there. It's getting stuck to my fingers. No. All right, so now we can, using a little brush, just get a little bit of water, brush it on the back, and we're gonna stick the eye down. There. Yay! So next we're gonna make the little hair, and we're just gonna make 3 little spikes. So take a little bowl of black fondant and roll it into like a cone kind of shape. So one end is spiky, and then just make the bottom a bit flat so it can stick. And we're gonna use a little bit of water. And put him up and just stick it down. There. And we're gonna make 3 of those. So we've made the little hair, and now for the mouth, I'm just gonna draw it on with an edible marker, but if you want, you can just take some black fondant, make a really small and thin snake, and then just apply it with a little smile. So I'm just gonna put him over and draw a little smile. So cute. Okay, so I'm gonna put him in the fridge because it is so hot. And I'm gonna make some other little minions, and you can make whatever you want. You can make little duckies, you can make scuba gear minions, you can do whatever. So here's my cake, and I put my blue buttercream in a piping bag. So we're gonna put this in now, and we're gonna start at the edges, just like that. Give it a good generous spread. And now we just put it all inside. Okay, so now we're gonna spread it out. And you can push it up to the edges, even like that. Also, so we take away the shape of it coming out of the piping bag. Okay, so now we're ready to place our little minions. I'm gonna put him first, and I'm gonna put him, decisions. I'm gonna put him over here. Okay, and now that you see the whole cake, you can also choose to do some little props. And I think I might just do that because I think there's a few empty spaces. So I'm gonna go back to work on my fondant and make some other props. So here it is, the little Minion Hot Tub Cake. And it's so cute and adorable, and I added a little rubber ducky to fill in some gaps. And I just think it's so cute. And I love the little minion diving. He's my favorite, I think. So I hope you enjoyed my video, and if you did, give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more, and I'll see you next time. Bye!